Hello and welcome to Legion's Crawl, a game gifted to me by, I believe, the developer. It's a game that is kind of a throwback to most roguelikes. It's still, I'm pretty sure, going to be in early access when it's released, but it's going to be released on July 31st for $4.99. I believe there's going to be a 10% discount on the release day as well. So we're going to head in and start a new game. Now, I've been messing around with this for like 4 hours. About 2 hours was me getting the hang of the game. We're going to be going adventure mode, which is kind of the standard default. I'm going to be going with this. I kind of like this because I kind of have to switch every once in a while. Depends on the game. I like going with the blacksmith. It kind of doesn't really matter right now, so you could actually skip this and just go for something else. I like going with at least one magic, because apparently magic's kind of important, and healing. I kind of use these two together more or less to do the same thing. But we'll go with that, and we're going to confirm. Now, this game starts you off in a randomly generated dungeon. You never know what's going on. You always seem to start with a pistol. I've actually talked to the developer about that, and apparently hand-to-hand combat is not too terrible, so it's kind of one of those things that's, I feel like you should start with like a dagger or something and not actually start with a pistol, but it's basically up to the developer what they want to do. Okay, we get our chest, and I do have it slightly slowed down. You can speed this up in the options. We have a mysterious amulet, take all, and a potion of poison. I usually end up selling those, but you can throw them. And this may be cursed. It is not. I don't think anything on the first level is cursed. I haven't run into anything that is actually cursed, and I've actually experimented significantly with that. Okay, and yeah, hand-to-hand combat's not actually that bad. I can confirm it's not the worst. The developer did say that he might start having weapons show up a little bit earlier. And as you see, it's just a standard dagger. Occasionally you'll get like a +1, but it's kind of rare. I honestly say you should probably throw on anything that you can from the first level, if you find it. There you go. Kite shield, which is actually not that bad. And yeah, so far we start out with 1 material, 2 bread. I actually usually like to keep those down there and keep this down here. I end up selling that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the art design, it's not the most intricate, but it's still, it fits the theme of the game. As it really doesn't matter what your character looks like, and it doesn't really matter what the graphics look like. It's the aspect of the game. And so far the actual mechanics of the game are pretty decent, so I've been enjoying it for several hours now. Back up here. It's supposed to explore the level fully unless you're in a on a time crunch. This is the exit portal. I was actually looking for this. So now that we know that the exit portal's there, we're just going to explore everywhere else of the dungeon. And monsters, I do believe, respawn. Ooh. I don't usually see that happen. I just leveled up, and I might die here, which is actually kind of funny. I shouldn't be dying this early, but it happens. I'm actually going with endurance. Gives me 7 extra health and some strength. Strength affects how much or how hard you hit. And I'm actually going to hold shift, or left shift, to kind of let time pass. You can just skip 1 turn at a time by pressing space. Originally, the tutorial tells you that you press space to skip a turn, and I was originally pressing the space bar like 40 times to actually get my health up. And the developer talked to me about that one, and it was good to know. He's sleeping. This one's active. Sleeping, they don't usually wake up unless you are adjacent to them. Occasionally there are some that wake up with one distance out. I'm pretty sure they're the archers. But we're not going to bother with that right now. I should actually reload. You have to press R twice for this one. And press F to fire. There we go. The pistol's pretty good for... Yeah, it depends on what you're doing. Sometimes you'll get a really good pistol off the bat. I remember the first game I ever played, I actually got a +2 pistol, which was actually kind of fun. And my first run was actually pretty good, surprisingly. It was, I got a amulet of trap detection and everything. Now, there are traps in the game. They don't seem to be very frequent in the top level. I should probably go up there. No, it just connects there. I actually like this mini-map because it does help you when it comes to knowing where you're at. But I do believe monsters respawn because I have noticed that they do seem to show up even in areas that you've cleared. So I'm just going to assume they're more like wandering monsters in D&D. So we're going to go to the next floor. The first couple of floors seem to be pretty easygoing. You do have to identify things. I do suggest you identify things and sell off scrolls before you enter the mushroom. And that was a trap. Before you enter the mushroom floor, which is pretty far, it's farther down in the game. Yeah, I've learned that the mushroom thing is kind of annoying because it destroys your scrolls all the time. And that was an alarm trap, so there's going to be a lot of creatures in this area. Yep. There we go. Let's go with melee combat. Increases melee damage, strength +1, strength +3, agility +1. There we go. And there we go. Now I could have gone with healing and stuff like that. I might end up doing that soon-ish. Oh, where are you going? I'm trying to murder you. There. Oh, hi. Reload. Slashy. I'm getting pretty good on crits. That's good. Okay. Well, I'm about to be attacked again. Kind of a fun one. Let's go over here. Stabby. Oh. Apparently I don't want to be over there. That dissolves your armor if you have any. Ooh, shield. Now, once you go to the second level, anything could be cursed. And cursed items basically prevent you from from removing them. And that's obviously no fun when you have a -3 cursed shield of you take extra damage. Because I've had probably the worst cursed item I've ever had was and not all cursed items are terrible, because I've actually had some cursed items that are actually really beneficial that I never removed. Simply for the fact that they were not too terrible. Scroll of Enchantment, that's actually a really good one to have. Use these before you enter the Mushroom Zone, because, again, scrolls get destroyed. I kind of want that to change at some point, but again, that's up to the developer, and that's another thing. It's just like losing your scrolls permanently for no reason kind of defeats the purpose of ever keeping them around. That's a teleport trap, by the way. Those are kind of fun at times. And sometimes really terrifying, because I've been teleported into groups of monsters before. Okay, I am now hungry. When nutrition goes to 0, you start taking damage. In certain game modes, when your nutrition reaches 0, you die instantly. So, keep that in mind. Hey, we just got food. Right-click to use it. And left-clicking these to open them. Right-click is usually how you move. Let's see. It's actually not too bad. We can't use magic yet, but we're going to next level. Reagents are used for alchemy. This is used for blacksmithing. I want to save that. I'm looking for at least a good piece of equipment. We're going to go to the north area. I often associate this direction as north. I don't know why. It probably shouldn't be, but I guess it's really just a matter of perspective. Okay, nothing there. We're actually going to be heading to... Yeah, clicking sometimes slightly different. Like, occasionally, if you'll click there, it'll send you here. But it's actually not too bad. I've kind of gotten used to it. These things are gremlins. They steal your gold. That's really all they do, and I guess I could fight them. What you want to do is keep your pistol reloaded. If they run away with your gold, like this, take a pot shot at them. And there you go. This is one of the best uses for the pistol, is creatures that run away with items. Primarily gremlins, because overall, they might never steal your gold, but when they do, they run off with it. And I think they'll remain on the level as long as you're on the level. This is an alchemy bench. I can make any of these, but they're really expensive comparably. And you never really have enough reagents to do alchemy, so yeah. Actually, can I... The blacksmith hammer? It does work that way. Ooh. Let's see. This is worth a decent bit. These are not. So, I sometimes just recycle. Okay. By the way, there's creatures on this level that cause disease. Not fun. Okay, pyromancy. We're learning our first explosion. That way we have actual access to a different resource other than our health. Melee is pretty good, but the damage from spells can actually be more beneficial in most circumstances. Which is one of the reasons why I suggest you always have at least one ability to use magic. By the way, that crunching sound is you eating through your food. At first I was thinking that it was like some sort of creature in the background. I should have used my magic for that. As you can see, the magic's over here. And I'm hoping my recording software isn't recording the length, but if it is, it doesn't matter. These creatures can actually hit you from a distance. There we go. Magic. And we have our portal out to the next level. So far, I've never completed the game. Ooh, another kite shield. This is for enchanting. I actually don't know how to do enchanting. I'm guessing it has something to do with the blacksmith's hammer, but I've never gotten around to doing it. So, I don't know. Oh. I kind of wish you could reactivate these, or accidentally still trigger them even if you detected them. Ooh. I don't have a scroll of identify, but I might end up wielding that, because that's actually not too bad comparably. Okay, it's actually not cursed. It is a +1 short sword. And it's actually not bad, so much so that I might actually put the enchantment on it. Yeah. Magic, useful. Especially when you can start... Ooh, there's a scroll of identify. On higher difficulties, you can actually have potions that are not identified. So keep that in mind. In the normal, default... What is it? The default difficulty often leaves it with the ability to identify only items and wands. But potions at least are left known. What is it? I'm tempted to go for the pistol, but I do know that there's better guns in the game. I kind of wish there was bows or something. Ooh, ring of paradox. Okay, rings are one of those things that you should always inspect. Oh, by the way, since it's not cursed, let's see. What does this do? I know it's not a ring of detection, or a amulet of detection. I don't see anything different. Now, I do want to get that identified because it's kind of hazardous. Ring of agility. Ooh. Plus 10 agility? That's actually pretty good. And it's not cursed. Wow. The accuracy is really high, and defense is really high now as well. That's really good, actually. Yeah, I had a ring of defense, which increased my defense by 10, I think. It was actually rather interesting. Yeah, you always want to use your identifies on at least jewelry. Unless you have a really good... Like, if you ever have a robe on that's not cursed, and you find plate mail, it's still better to throw the plate mail on even if it is cursed. Because one, it might not be cursed. And two, it's often at least better than the robe even when cursed. Let's see, we have this section to the north, and... skeletons aren't really much of a threat. And I actually suggest that you farm the third floor, at least until you are level 5. Because it seems that if you start pressing too far down, you often run into an issue of over-leveled creatures that are a little bit more hazardous than you can usually deal with. These guys really are not fun. They cause disease, which basically... it's not fun. I'm actually going to leave those guys because I'd rather not get diseased right now. It basically halves your ability to fight. I just got teleported. Fun. I'm actually going to... Oh, I was so close to leveling too. Oh, well, you'll give me a level. Okay. Now, for this, since I have the Ring of Agility, I'm not going to go with this just yet, as this does give you just basically more attack. I should probably go with one of these. This can be good for the physical resistance. Not always the best. This one's kind of a good one. You can either get more magic power, which kind of not useful for me, or I can go with this, which gives me strength and magic. Max life. The recovery is slightly better. That might be pretty good. Or I can literally just go with this and get better healing. In general. I'm going to go with that, because I can get a healing spell later on as well. The healing spell is kind of useless, unfortunately. I kind of wish it was slightly better, because it heals like 3 health for 20 mana. First time I used it was kind of disappointing. I could continue this. In fact, hold on for a second. I want to see. I have at least 2 full heals of the nutrition. I might be able to grind to level 6. But yes, it's best to try to get as high of a level as you can early on, but don't try to focus too much on a single floor, as it can sometimes be more detrimental. These guys are probably still here. Yeah, they don't seem to move. These guys really... I don't like the carriers. I just don't feel like getting diseased. And they're kind of a pain when... Okay, spiders are fun, as they're pretty easy. Let's see. The spiders can actually be pretty dangerous. Okay, we've run out of food for this. I'm gonna start heading to the exit. Check in here. Another carrier, don't want to deal with them. Slimes are probably going to be your first actual threat creature. And yeah, slimes are no fun early on because you can't kill them fast enough. Ooh, these guys get pretty good XP. There we go. Let's go over here. Yeah, I guess I'll head down. Slimes are not the worst. Oh, we started out with the exit already? See, that's one of those things where, yeah, you don't want to go down that area yet. And sometimes they don't wake up when you walk next to them, but usually they will. I think if you have stealth, it prevents that from happening anyway, and you can get a good critical strike on them. Let's see. Oops. That's a hunger trap. Let's see. Potion of Wisdom. Ooh, instantly gains a level. You should always use these when you when you go through a level. That way it just basically levels you all the way up. Like right now, I only need about half level. And it just wouldn't be worth it. But I'm actually going to call this one an episode right now. I'll see you guys in the next episode. And this is Legion's Crawl. See you then.